Welcome to Indy. How you doing? Yep. Just two? Just two of you? One more coming. Okay.
Great. Yeah. Come on, man.
Take a picture for Jerry.
Where Jerry at?
Can't see.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Cool room.
Here we go, Joe? All right. Oh, here we go. All right.
Hopefully sprinkled on here.
You're doing that. Welcome to Indy.
There
All
you
right.
go.
We have our three Utah State players. So if you just raise your hand and give us your name and affiliation, and we'll begin the questioning. So who's first? Right there.
Jack Johnson from the Utah Statesman. Great. They have a lot of height on their team. Most of their starters are about, 6'8", 6'7", 6'7", and 6'11". How are you going to stop their physical advantage from stopping you to score?
Question for Great.
I feel like we just have to keep playing in our system, to be honest. Like, I don't have to do nothing special. I just have to be who I've been all season and rely that the ball will find the right person to score. Whether that's me or whoever it is, I'm going to do my part, and then I trust everyone else to do their part.
Right here.
Jason Walker with Cache Valley Daily. So TCU is a team that's, they've played a lot together, several years together, in at TCU, and they've also been to the tournament several times. You feel like the experience of either team will play a factor in this, where they've got a little bit more tournament experience and a couple of tournament wins, and you guys are kind of coming here for the first time at Utah State?
Ian?
I think it does play a little bit of a role, but taking into account what we've done, this year, 13 new guys, and the mentality that we had since the first day, I don't think it'll be that big of a difference. I don't think that's going to be the main factor. It'll be us just playing our game, just what Grace said. If everybody does what they have to do, we'll be more than fine.
Darius?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that much. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a basketball game. No matter where it is or what type of setting it is, NCAA tournament, regular season game is a basketball game. And the experience will come in handy. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll never know. It's just one game. So I think we just do what we've been doing all season, and we'll be fine.
Next question, please. Right here.
Sean Harrison with the Herald Journal. Do any of you guys, you've had a few days now to study and get ready for TCU. What can you tell us about some of the challenges and some of the things you're going to be facing against TCU?
Great. We'll start with you.
TCU, obviously, it speaks for itself. They're in the Big 12. They made it to the tournament from the Big 12, so they're a really good team. They lead the country in transition points, so we know we've made that focus over the past 2-3 days. We need to get back on defense because you don't want to gift any team easy layups in transition. And obviously, they're a physical team. So coaches stressed over the past week, we need to come match the intensity, which we feel like we didn't do the best job against San Diego State our last game. So I trust my team that this game we're going to come back and bounce back in that,
Ian?
Yeah, like Gary mentioned, physicality is going to be a big point in this game. If we come in with the right mentality and, just trying to give out the first sponge, then we'll be fine. That's the main focal point.
Right here.
I know length got mentioned as far as TCU's height and length. Two areas they seem to really use that well is in getting steals and in getting offensive rebounds. How much emphasis have you guys put on in practice and film and all that as far as making sure you guys, don't have those turnovers into steals and also making sure you're getting defensive rebounds?
Darius, start with you.
Yeah, that's been a real focus, but I think what's been really good about this is the Mountain West has prepared us for this. We've seen so many different types of teams throughout the whole year, and teams that play really fast, teams that play, really hard on, really aggressive on defense, and teams that are just solid on defense and love crashing the glass. And, all those teams in the Mountain West prepared us for a game like this. So obviously that was the focus, but it's it shouldn't be anything new to us. If we just, focus on what we're supposed to focus on and follow the scout and all those things, I think we'll be fine.
Ian, you want to answer that?
And yeah, like Darius just mentioned, a lot of those teams prepared us. Like San Diego State, we seen that they crashed the glass really hard, and we didn't do a great job as of last game. So that's also a big aspect that just we've been focusing on lately and not letting it happen again. And it has a lot to do with the physicality that we want to come in and play in.
Right here.
Grace Lawrence with Montana Sports for Darius and Great. Just what has it been like going through and now going to go through March Madness again with Coach Sprinkle? What has he meant to you to get back here with him and now try and make a run?
Darius?
I mean, he's been huge throughout this whole year. Just that steady factor of especially coming over with a new team, not knowing anybody but knowing the whole staff, not just Sprinkle but the whole staff, and them being a huge part of familiarity for at least for me, and then Great being the only player. But I think that this is it brings like a sense of comfort being in the tournament again with the same coach. It brings a sense of comfort because it allows me to kind of still be me. I don't feel like I have to be any different, and I think that'll go a long way, and it'll probably carry over in the game unconsciously, not something you think about, but it's been really huge.
Great.
Obviously, me and DB are here. This is my third time in the NCAA tournament, thankfully. And the past 2 times I came with Montana State, it was a blessing. Like, just being able to go with, like, a good program with Montana State, like, it was big time. And I'm just grateful that me and DB were able to come here and, like, bring and continue a tradition. That Utah State is an amazing school, and they've been going to the NCAA tournament. So just the fact that we're able to come here with 13 you guys and carry on the tradition that the Aggies have of going to the dance, it just speaks volume of, like, everyone bought in, from the staff to the players, and it just speaks volume of what Coach Spring decided to bring to Logan, Utah,
Right here.
Great. TCU players mentioned that they didn't believe that anybody had forced you to make cross-court passes out of the post this season. They felt like that was a point of emphasis, that they were going to try to force you to pass cross-court instead of the same side, offensive side. What are your thoughts on that, and do you feel comfortable doing that if needs be?
I mean, I think I'm pretty confident in my passing abilities, If whoever's open, I think I'm going to find them. So we'll just have to see in the game.
Questions, please. Right here.
Any of you guys, I know that you're an 8 seed, so seeding-wise, you'll be favorites. But a lot of people are obviously TCU is the favorite point-wise from Vegas line. You guys like that underdog role, even though you're outright champions of the Mountain West. Have you kind of taken that upon yourselves again to have that little chip on your shoulder continuing into the NCAA tournament?
Ian?
Yeah, personally, I do like that. I mean, it's just since the beginning of the year, people have always been doubting us, and we just trying to block out the outside noise. It don't really matter what nobody said. They gonna end up switching up anyways. So, I feel like, yeah, it gives me that kind of, I want to go get it more than I wanted it before.
Darius?
Yeah, I personally, I love it personally. I think we've been doubted all year, coming from the, no returning points and picked 9th in the Mountain West and winning an outright title, and now it's no different. They're coming out of the Big 12 conference. We knew from as soon as we saw who we're playing that we weren't going to be favored in this game, so it really doesn't surprise us at all, and we'll be ready. We'll be ready.
Next, right here.
Ian, what happened to your ira over there?
Yeah, I think this was against Fresno State in the first round. And in the tournament, I didn't even see it coming, to be honest. I crashed the board. I didn't get the ball. I was running back. Next thing I know, I just got hit in the face, and I got called for a foul. So, yeah, I don't even know what happened. But I'm trying to cover it up because it don't look good. It don't look good. So this looks better than when I have it off.
Over here.
For all of you, obviously you've only been in Indianapolis for a short period of time, but what can you say about this city and what it means to be playing here in a city that's termed basketball country?
Great.
Obviously, we just got here yesterday, but even just going to the different practice gyms and seeing all the different like support that the basketball has here. Like, we went to a high school gym yesterday, and that was really awesome to see how basketball is just being developed from the grassroots level, and then the other university we just practiced in just before we got here. It just speaks volumes of the basketball level in Indianapolis, and it's really impressive to see.
Darius?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like what Grace said, we just got here, but the city's been great, and the skylines are really nice. You could stay warm downtown. That was nice. We walked somewhere for dinner, got to stay inside the whole time. But yeah, kind of like what Grace said, being at these different schools, it seems like there's a rich culture here as far as basketball in the state of Indiana, and I've heard that, and now it's really cool to see it.
Right back here.
Hi, Khalil Cage, CBS Sports. This is obviously, playing on a big stage. How do you guys stay focused and ambitious by also taking in the media and the lights and the fans? In what ways do you absorb it, but also stay focused on what's ahead?
Ian, start with you.
I just kind of like roll with it. I don't pay too much attention to it, like all the social media and things like that. Sometimes it can get to your head, but I try to just stay away from it. I just came here to play basketball, and I want to enjoy that, have fun. And there's not many Costa Ricans, playing at this level. So for me personally, I try to just look at the good stuff and not try to stress too much about it. Just have fun with basketball.
We're going to attempt to take a Zoom call. So, we good?
Dan Tor.
Go ahead, Dan. Hello, Dan. Do we lose him?
Unfortunate.
Oh,
That was just here.
so much for technology.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Now, I was saying for all the student athletes, Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com, just what you can say about the Mountain West Conference and maybe not getting as much respect as you think it deserves, but the level of talent and competition that you had that you think can prepare you for the NCAA tournament.
Darius, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think the Mountain West is, obviously one of the top conferences in the country, and I think we showed it night in and night out, just playing against each other, every single team from top to bottom, just really, really good teams, and it was hard, physical, and it was just, I don't know about how many people watch those late night games. I know those games got pretty late, especially, in the East Coast out here. We had a couple late starts. We had a home game that started at like 9:15 one time. So, but I know that it's a really great conference, and, hopefully that the whole conference has a great showing. We're rooting for all the teams in the Mountain West to keep advancing. So,
Ian, we'll let you.
Oh, no, I think, yeah, also a great conference coming from the Big Ten. I thought the physicality was up there, in par with the Big Ten, so definitely some great basketball play there. A lot of good teams, and they have different play styles. Like New Mexico, we see that they can play really fast. We see Boise, they have a lot of size. They're big. A lot of these teams, Colorado State, really good offensively. So, yeah, I think all those good teams prepared us to come in and play some good basketball here in March Madness.
All right, guys, we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, we're joined by Coach Sprinkle, and Coach would ask you to make an opening statement, and we'll take questions.
Yeah, obviously an honor to play in the NCAA tournament. Our program is becoming accustomed to it, which is a good thing. We're here. We're happy to represent the Mountain West, which we think we had, one of the best seasons ever in our conference's history, and hopefully we all represent pretty well. But obviously we got a TCU squad that, I've known Coach Dixon for a long time. I know how his teams play. I know how tough and grimy and gritty they are, and we know we're going to have to play our best tomorrow at 9:55. But I think our guys are up to it. I think the Mountain West schedule's prepared us for the physicality that this game is going to entail. And anytime you play in the NCAA tournament, you can't take 2 minutes off. It can't take you 2 to 3 minutes to start the game to be aggressive. You got to get all your anxiety and nerves out of the way, and you got to come when that ball gets thrown up on the tip. You got to be ready to rock and roll, which I expect our guys to be tomorrow.
All right, questions, please, right here.
So you mentioned, obviously you needed to start off quick. The last couple of games, in the Mountain West tournament, that didn't seem to be the problem for you guys. You started fast and then kind of faded a little bit as the game went on. Is that kind of the thing you're going to try and address in this one, where you start fast and keep going?
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, I mean, you have to start fast and you got to stay fast. Obviously there's going to be lulls throughout the game. I mean, it's a game of runs, but we have to limit those runs. And some of those runs that, occurred to us, as you mentioned, in the Mountain West tournament, were due to foul trouble. And a lot of it was, our fault, whether it was undisciplined plays or undisciplined fouls that, we have to have certain guys on the court, and they know that, and we have to play smarter and play better so we don't have those lulls.
Right here.
Jack Johnson, the Utah Statesman. Mason didn't play against Fresno State, had less time, decreased time against San Diego State. What's the status of his injury right now?
Yeah, he's been practicing all week, and, he looks as good as he's been here in the last probably 2.5 weeks. And a lot of his, decreased time, against San Diego State was because of foul trouble. And he's one of those guys that we need on the court. But he looks good right now.
Questions, please, right here.
Sean Harrison with the Herald Journal. Can you just talk a little bit about TCU? And I mean, obviously you know Coach Dixon really well. He kind of joked a little bit about you guys might not have returned any points, but you brought some guys with you that you knew about. But just talk about your relationship with Coach Dixon.
Yeah, when I was a player at Montana State, he was an assistant for Ben Howland at Northern Arizona. And so, kind of had that relationship since then. And obviously I followed his career, and, he's been kind of one of those guys I looked up to, just from being in the Big Sky and knowing him and Coach Howland, when they went to Pittsburgh, and obviously had tremendous success. And then watching what he's done, at Pittsburgh and TCU, and just how he's kind of created his own identity and just become one of the best coaches in the country. He's had tons of success. I love how he coaches and how his teams play, and you can kind of tell they take on his demeanor. They're a tough physical team, no nonsense, disciplined, and he's always been kind of one of those guys I've always watched.
Questions, please, right here.
Grace Lawrence, Montana Sports from back in Bozeman. Just what did you think about, Montana State carrying on your legacy, three-peating? I saw you active on Twitter last week, and I know the community really appreciates that.
It's awesome to have somebody from Montana here. No, super proud of, Coach Logie and the players. And, as somebody that wore that Bobcat jersey, I take an immense pride in that. Okay. And it's awesome to watch them on TV last night and, everybody talking about Montana State. 'Cause I'm not here without Montana State, and I'll say that as, I'm not. They raised me, and I'm here today because of that. And so I take an immense amount of pride in Montana State University, and it was awesome to watch. And I mean, me and Great and Darius and Xavier, we watch all their games, whether we're in the hotel or conference room or whatnot, and that'll never go away.
So TCU's got a lot of length, and in a couple of ways they use that is they get a lot of steals, they put a lot of pressure on defense, and they grab offensive rebounds. How much focus do you have to put on those two things, not having turnovers and then not giving up offensive rebounds?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the key to the game. Our offense has to be great. Our ball movement, our body movement has to be on point because they're one of the best transition offensive teams in the country. I think they're averaging almost 18, 19 points a game in transition. And so if you let them start getting going with that off silly turnovers and live ball turnovers, that it's a recipe for disaster. And then once you get them set in their offense, you have to rebound. You know, they're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. And so really the game's going to start tomorrow. When they shoot it and that ball goes up on the rim, you know, we have to have some contact box outs and you have to go get it.
Coach, is there any team in the Mountain West that you comparable to TCU? Is there somebody you kind of, you know, can use as an example?
Yeah, you know, probably more in the San Diego State and UNLV, you know, type mold, you know, especially from a defensive standpoint, from a length and athleticism standpoint, I'd say probably those two teams.
Questions, please? Right here, right in front.
Hey, Coach, I'm Jayla Johnson, IUPUI Sports Capital Journalism Program. I wanted to ask, you've made it to the first round of the NCAA tournament the last few years, and you made it here with with your team today.
Yep.
What does it mean to make it here with this team after being in this exact same situation last year and your former team not making it to this point?
Yeah, you know, it's been tremendous for like the team, the staff, the university, the athletic department, you know, because not even a year ago, you know, 11 months ago when I got hired, you know, we didn't even know who was on the roster. You know, we had, you know, three players, you know, and two of them redshirted last year. And so, you know, for this group to come together in a short amount of time and to do it in a Mountain West conference that was as good as it was this year, and to have 27 wins is an incredible accomplishment for, you know, for our players. You know, I mean, they're the ones that make the shots and get the rebounds and are practicing and lifting weights. And for them to come together, you know, and have the chemistry that they do, because everybody's, you know, selfish to an extent, you know, and then when you bring in 13 brand new guys, everybody's trying to show how good they are, but they really bought into each other's success, and that's why we've had the season that we've had.
Right here.
Coach, last two seasons you've faced Big 12 opponents in the first round of the tournament, Texas Tech and then K-State. How do you think facing two Big 12 opponents can prepare you for this year, and what do you have to speak on for the Big 12 conference as a whole?
Yeah, I don't know why the selection committee keeps giving me Big 12 teams, but you know, it's more for me and my staff, you know, because my staff, we'd been through the last two NCAA tournaments. You know, this team is totally different. You know, they don't know. But the one thing I know going through the Texas Tech and Kansas State game is like the size and length and physicality. I mean, it's different than what we were accustomed to at Montana State. Now, we see some of that more in the Mountain West, so I don't think it's not going to be quite as big as an adjustment, you know, for our group right now, because they played against the San Diego States, the UNLVs, the Boise's, Colorado. Like, I can go down the list of our entire conference, but, you know, I think we're more built for it right now, and, you know, and hopefully that shows tomorrow night.
Right here.
Hey, Coach, Cole Cage, CBS Sports. How do you, making it this far is obviously an honor in college basketball. How do you keep your guys focused, but also let them enjoy the moment?
Yeah, you know, I think this group's had a business-type mindset all year. You know, we've been hearing that we're picked ninth. We've been hearing that every game's a trap game. And everybody's been waiting for this group to fall off, and we haven't. And so, you know, I don't think, you know, keeping our guys focused isn't going to be that big a deal. You know, like they're hungry. You know, they're ready. You know, Great and Darius obviously played in the tournament last year. Great's played in it the last 2 years. Ian Martinez played for it in Maryland. You know, Mason and Isaac, you know, they were red shirts, but they actually came and like saw the festivities last year when Utah State went. And so hopefully that experience will, you know, will help us tomorrow night. But I just see the look in our guys' eyes, like they're not wide-eyed of, you know, everything going on right now. Like maybe my first year at Montana State, we were a little bit like that.
Time for a couple more. Right here.
Last time you guys played TCU, or USU played TCU, was in 1982, and the series is 2-0 in favor of Utah State. What are you going to do? What do you think of that? And then how are you going to keep that legacy going?
Well, that's awesome. Hopefully that's some good karma for us. Hopefully we can make it 3-0 tomorrow night. Since 1982, you said that was the last meeting? I mean, that's a long time ago. But, yeah, hopefully we can start up a new streak.
Last question for the coach.
Yeah.
Go ahead, right here in front.
Jayla Johnson again. What does this group of guys mean to you? You've coached a lot of great players, and of course you have Darius and Gray coming back playing for you. But with this new team, what do they mean to you outside of the X's and O's?
Yeah, they mean a lot, and I know that's kind of a general statement, but like the care factor that this team has, and some of the shared experiences that we've gone through, from the summer, it was ugly. Like, you would have never thought we'd be an NCAA tournament team. If you watched us practice in the summer or the fall, I would have told you you're crazy if you said we're going to win 27 games and be in the tournament, to be honest. But the care that they have for each other, the care they have for wearing that Utah State jersey, for them having faith in our coaching staff and letting us coach them hard and believing in us, even when things weren't going well in the summer or the fall, this group listens to everything we said and they did it. And I'm glad they're being rewarded for it, because a lot of teams, you don't get the reward of playing in the NCAA tournament. We know we're very fortunate to be here, but this team it's been special, to have 13 brand new people and to do what we've done this year. And I've said it before, in the landscape of college basketball nowadays with NIL and transfer portal, I don't know if what we've done this year and winning an outright Mountain West championship with 13 brand new players and not having resources that a lot of schools have, for recruiting, I don't know if that'll ever be done again. I'm sure at some point it will, but when you're at the Power 5 and Power 6 level, it's hard, because you have to get really, really good players, and we were very fortunate getting some of those guys in the portal.
Thanks, Coach. We're good.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.